Hi, I'm Dan Atchison, I'm 34 and I'm an all-round logistician with MSF. We tend to be the jack of all trades, so the people that help support the medical teams, and that might be with transport and vehicles, it might be with power or with energy supply, it might be maintenance, it might be construction, and it also tends to be security and communications as well. Last project, I actually had to gap fill on quite a number of occasions, so I had to cover supply for a period of time and WhatsApp, as well as managing the whole of the logistic support and also construction programs. A typical day would start between 6 and 7. I'd get up and make sure that the security guards and the watchmen were okay. We would ensure that vehicles were checked and cleaned and readied. We would have mechanics looking after the generators. If we had construction work, you'd have to be in and around the site first thing so that you can ensure the project teams are getting on with the correct work. And also the radio comms, so the checks to either the country coordination or to a sister hospital would have to be done so that communications could be made that everything was up and running and people were safe and there were no issues. I wanted to do something positive, in truth, and I didn't necessarily want to do that whilst sitting at a desk. The all-round general logistician role, as well as any other role actually in MSF, fits that quite well. Something about the organisation resonated with me. I'd met a member of MSF staff, what she had to tell me about MSF and what I found out there and then just really struck a chord. My background prior to MSF is quite varied, and I guess that is why maybe I fell into the all-round logistician role. I studied construction at university, construction management, and then took some time out after my studies and spent a year in Kenya volunteering at a community project, a rural community project. Then from there, I taught for 5 years, got itchy feet, went travelling again, came back from travelling and went into project management. So I worked for a small NGO in the UK, managing youth services, and that gave me a really good grounding in project management. Then I gave up work. I went to Tanzania for 9 months with a small NGO managing their logistics. I got the necessary experience that I needed, and then I was fortunate enough to be offered a position with MSF. Some of the most challenging points to the role that I've found are the remoteness of the work that we do and the context in which MSF operates. When you're in the middle of nowhere, it's quite difficult to get the equipment that you need, so that all needs to be planned and it's not instantaneous. And when you're in a situation where the medical team are doing what they need to do and you can't offer a lot of support, I found that to be very challenging. My advice for anybody wishing to be a general logistician with MSF would be to try and get some relevant experience. From my personal experience, that was going overseas and volunteering with an NGO, and that really opens your eyes to the context and the situations that you'll be dealing with. It's imperative that you have a good background, a good knowledge and a good understanding, and you're competent at what you do so you can fulfil the role to your utmost. Have an open, positive outlook and remember that you can't do everything, so there's an absolute element of teamwork. My top tip for being a general log would be to think about collaboration. So it's quite easy to want to do everything yourself, but it's best to work in partnership, hand in hand with the people around you. The best thing about being a logistician is that you become the go-to guy. So although you're busy and it's tiring, and your days can often be endless, you know that what you do is really important. And although you're not at the forefront of MSF's work, that's the medical teams, you're the person that supports them to do what they do.